Have you ever looked up at the sky and whispered, "Why did this have to happen to me?" Sometimes, life gives us so much that we become proud, and sometimes it takes everything away, leaving us feeling broken. But what we often forget is this: everything that happens for a reason. Every joy, every loss, every single delay has a purpose written by a higher power. Maybe you're struggling right now, feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Or maybe you're living comfortably, perhaps even forgetting how quickly things can change. Either way, this story is for you. Please, listen till the very end. It might just change the way you see your life. At the edge of a lush green hill, near a quiet, whispering forest, lived a humble man named Mr. Adam. He didn't have much money, but his heart was full of peace. Every day, he worked on his small piece of land with his only son, Daniel, and their beautiful white horse, Max. No, Max wasn't just any ordinary horse. He was intelligent, fiercely loyal, and incredibly strong. He was more than an animal. I was family. Together, the three of them lived a simple, yet deeply content life, finding joy in the rising sun and the satisfaction of a day's work. One afternoon, a rich businessman from the bustling city, a Mr. Smith, came to their small village. He had heard tales of the magnificent white horse and wanted to see him. The moment he laid eyes on Max, he was captivated. He offered Mr. Adam a sum of money so large it could have changed their lives forever. The villagers buzzed with excitement, thinking, finally, Adam will be rich. But to everyone's absolute shock, Mr. Adam politely refused the offer. The villagers couldn't believe it. They started to laugh and mock him. "He's a fool," they'd say to each other. "He had a fortune in his hands and threw it away. He'll die as poor as he was born." But just a few days later, something terrible happened. Max disappeared. He had run away, vanishing deep into the dense forest. The very same villagers who had mocked Adam's decision now shook their heads with pity. "See," they whispered, "that's what happens when you refuse good fortune. He deserved it." Daniel was heartbroken. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. "Father," he cried, "our Max is gone. How can you stay so calm?" Mr. Adam placed a gentle hand on his son's shoulder. His eyes filled with a wisdom that Daniel couldn't yet understand. He simply smiled and said, "Son, don't be so quick to judge what is good or what is bad. Only time will tell the true story," a week passed. The small farm felt empty without Max. Then one morning, as the sun began to paint the sky with hues of orange and pink, Daniel looked towards the forest and saw something that made him rub his eyes in disbelief. It was Max. He had returned, but he wasn't alone. Trotting gracefully behind him were 5 wild, beautiful horses, following him as if he were their leader. The villagers were stunned into silence. Their pity turned to envy overnight. "Adam is so lucky," they exclaimed. "He lost 1 horse and got 6 in return. What incredible fortune." But again, Mr. Adam simply smiled his quiet, knowing smile. "Maybe," he said softly, "and maybe not. Let's wait and see what time has to say." Daniel, filled with renewed energy, began the difficult task of taming the wild horses. He was a natural, just like his father. But during one training session, a spirited stallion bucked unexpectedly. Daniel was thrown to the ground, and a sharp, cracking sound echoed through the air. He had broken his leg. The whispers started again. The villagers now looked at the new horses with fear. "See? Those wild horses brought nothing but disaster," they muttered. "First luck, then a curse." Lying in his bed, crying out in pain, Daniel looked at his father with frustration. "Father, now tell me this isn't bad. I can't walk. I can't work. This is a catastrophe." Mr. Adam sat by his side, his voice gentle and soothing. "Good or bad, my son, we are only seeing a tiny piece of the grand puzzle. We can't see the full picture yet. Wait and trust time." A few weeks later, a shadow fell over the village. The king's soldiers marched in, their armor glinting ominously in the sun. They carried a decree. War had been declared, and all able-bodied young men were to be conscripted immediately. There was no choice. The village filled with the sounds of weeping as every mother cried, watching their sons being taken away to fight in a sudden, brutal war. But when the soldiers came to Mr. Adams' home, they saw Daniel lying in bed, his leg tightly bound in a cast. They looked at him, then at their commander, who simply shook his head. "He's no use to us." And they left. Daniel, because of his broken leg, was spared. Months later, the war finally ended. The surviving soldiers returned, but many did not. The village was a place of grief, as many families had lost their sons forever. The same villagers who had laughed, then pitied, then envied Mr. Adam, now came to him with tears in their eyes. "You were right, Adam," they said, their voices filled with awe and respect. "You are truly blessed. Your son is safe." Mr. Adam looked at his son, who was now slowly learning to walk again, and said, "Do you see now, Daniel? Losing Max looked like a terrible loss, but it brought us a herd of horses. Gaining those horses seemed like a blessing, but one of them broke your leg. And breaking your leg felt like the worst pain imaginable, but it was that very pain that saved your life." He continued, "Life's blessings and its hardships are not always what they seem. Often, they are gifts in disguise, wrapped in paper we don't immediately recognize. A delay might be a protection, a loss might be an opening for something greater. A pain might be a lesson that strengthens you for what's to come. So, the next time you find yourself questioning why something is happening, remember this story. Whether an event seems good or bad, try not to react too quickly. Don't let a moment of joy make you arrogant, and don't let a moment of sorrow make you despair. Everything passes. Every single moment, good or bad, is just one chapter in a much larger story, part of a bigger plan you can't yet see. Be patient. Stay grateful for both the easy times and the hard times. And above all, trust that there is a wisdom guiding your path, a plan that knows exactly what it's doing, because in the end, time always tells the truth. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that aims to inspire and uplift. We'll see you in the next one.